From our studios in Atlanta, this is CBT News.
Today's show is brought to you by Dealer Track.
And here now, Joe Gum and Bridget Fitzpatrick.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new week of CBT News. We have a great show for you today. It is Monday, September 19th. I'm Joe Gum.
And I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. We hope you had a great weekend of sales. Coming up today, securing the sale with women car buyers. We'll tell you what women are expecting from the car buying experience.
We know you've seen consumers gravitating towards leasing more used cars, but we'll tell you why not all vehicles are suited for a used lease.
And would you shut down your store for a community outreach event? We'll talk with Tim Bergstrom, President and COO of Bergstrom Automotive, about why the auto group did just that.
And it is Monday. That means we'll have a preview of the latest episode of Straight Talk with David Lewis.
All right, but before we get to those great stories, we have 5 ways to motivate your employees.
Yeah, number 1, boy, this hits home with me big time. Communicate better.
We were just talking
How about that? We were totally just talking about that. If you talk to my kids, they'll tell you that. Number 2, be an example. You can't expect your employees to work hard or behave the way you want them to do it if you're not leading by example. Number 3, empower your team, maybe with some HGH or maybe some protein powder. Maybe protein powder. Number 4, offer opportunities for advancement. That's very important. Your employees are more motivated when they know they're working towards something. And number 5, provide incentives, not just obviously at the dealership with your vehicles, but incentives are always motivation boosters and they don't have to be expensive.
Yes.
But money is pretty nice.
It is. It's a great motivator.
That's
sure.
a huge motivator. Time off is another one.
Yeah, right.
Paid time off is even better motivator.
So many things you could offer. All right, guys, we want to remind you that there's still time for early bird registration for the 2nd annual CBT Conference and Expo right here in Atlanta, March 7th through the 9th. We have a great lineup of speakers like New York Times bestsellers John Acuff and Gary Vaynerchuk, Peter Lito, head of automotive at Google, Dr. Nicole Lipkin, an organizational psychologist and author of What Keeps Leaders Up at Night, and Scott Stratton, president of Unmarketing. You'll also get to meet the trainers that you see here every day on CBT News and get insight on today's auto industry and so much more.
Hey, don't pass up on this special offer. Make sure you register for the event at cbtconferenceandexpo.com, where you can stay up to date with announcements and special pricing for the conference. We'll have more of that. Again, that's cbtconferenceandexpo.com.
And we also want to remind you that the Tom Stuker Show with Tom Stuker has moved to Tuesday, so that you can catch that show tomorrow right here on CBT Automotive Network.
Always looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
He's got some big opinions.
Yes, he
big
does.
Personality.
He's great. He is. Okay, so we all have heard the common stats before. Women influence over 80% of automotive purchases and drive more than 50% of the autos sold annually in the U.S. But do you know exactly what women are looking for when they come to your dealership? Or do you even know how to sell a car to a woman for that matter?
Yeah, great questions right there. The Chicago Tribune says, according to a recent study conducted by Jumpstart Automotive, women place emphasis on sales approaches that are ethical, low pressure, and that respect their time.
Authentic language and voice speaks to them, says Libby Murad Patel, Jumpstart analyst. Listen and respond to their needs. Dealers should identify features that would make their lives more convenient. In advertising, women want to see how the vehicle is used in everyday life.
How women negotiate also differs. Quote, women are very loyal relationship buyers. If a female feels safe, she's not necessarily digging for the best deal. Women look for a more consultative selling experience and reach to social media to tell peers about her experience, says Brandy Schaffels, editor of AskPatty.com. They're more likely to value unbiased opinions, relying more on independent research and reviews. Okay, so we know you've seen off-lease vehicles return to the market and used vehicle inventory rise. Some dealers and lenders are leasing those vehicles, but Auto News says not all vehicles are suited for a used lease, according to Black Book. Dealers and lenders should analyze collateral data to determine the best option for the customer, dealership, and lender, says Anil Goyal, Senior Vice President of Automotive Valuation and Analytics for Black Book.
Goyal says F&I managers should work with lenders to let them know when lease vehicles are expected to come back and to learn which lenders are interested in a used leasing program. The lenders can then help dealership personnel understand how the monthly payments for new and used leases differ.
When evaluating used lease candidates, Black Book suggests lenders and dealers should, number 1, look for vehicles with relatively low levels of incentives or subvention on the new version of a nameplate.
2, analyze collateral data to identify vehicles with lower depreciation after 3 years of age.
3, review data on cents per mile depreciation differences between new and used leases to determine mileage charge differences.
And 4, look for lowered certified pre-owned to find used vehicles with lower capitalized cost.
All right, so each Monday we bring you an episode of Straight Talk with David Lewis. This week we continue with part 4 of 6 in a series about overcoming objections. This week David discusses the counter step.
The goal of the counter step is to give your customer a reason to change their mind and, of course, purchase the car. And if you caught this, I did not say anything about lowering the price. I said to give them a reason to change their mind. In most cases, when a customer objects about price, most salespeople simply ask, well, what payment did you have in mind? All this question does is hand over total control of the negotiating process to the customer and literally flushes all the potential gross down the toilet.
Okay, to hear more on the counter step, make sure you check out Straight Talk with David Lewis right after this show.
All right, coming up next, does reaching out to the community equal retention and more business for your dealership? We'll ask the president and COO of Wisconsin's largest auto dealer about events they put on for the community, including one that was so big it shut down the entire dealership. We'll be back. It's the CBT Conference and Expo, March 7th through the 9th here in Atlanta. 3 days packed with solutions for your entire dealership, covering leadership, management, technology, and marketing. Featuring keynotes like Gary Vaynerchuk and John Acuff. Register right now at cbtconferenceandexpo.com.
Promotional events are important to dealerships, especially ones where dealerships give out a car. And of course, when it comes to promoting the event, social media and marketing is vital.
Bergstrom Automotive had a promotion so big in June it shut down its dealerships. The goal? Sell 3,000 vehicles in 1 month. And as Tim Bergstrom, president and COO of Bergstrom Automotive, explains, it was more about making it a community-involved event rather than trying to hit a goal, but they did both.
Our philosophy has always been do what's right for our guests, take care of our guests. And the only way we can do that is by having a great team focused on them. So many years ago, even predates me, my father was looking at sales opportunities. He's a marketer by training and has always been in the car business. And he came up with the June 250, and he pitted 2 of our stores against each other. At the time, we had 2 Chevy stores, and they were both trying to sell 250 and have a lot of fun with it. And lo and behold, as time has gone on, it's developed into more. And we, on average, sell about 2,000 cars a month. And every June, we took it to June 3,000, and our team revs up for it. We have a huge kickoff event. We rent a performing arts center right in one of our cities that we have dealerships in. This year, we brought our entire automotive team, service, parts, body, everybody, all 1,600 strong. Packed up. In previous years, it's been just our variable operations team, but since we're in it together, we thought we would actually close the stores during retail hours for 3 hours for us to get together. It's the first time we've ever closed during regular business hours, and we went after it.
And people are going to be a part of that. You guys had more than 14,000 entries. You put it all over social media. How important is social media to Bergstrom Auto? Because I know in the past we've talked about participating in that and taking advantage of that. Some of that free.
Yeah, so I think social media is kind of a way of life for 90% of the population now. I think if you took the negative connotation out of it and just say it was a way for people to stay connected and get their news source and get their information, you could then look at the positives to it, and that's what we've done. So we've enlisted our team, we've enlisted the community, we've enlisted our talents to take the benefit of people cheering for us to be a successful company, to be a successful employer, to be a successful retailer, and find the good in it. So we started sharing a lot of the message that we were in position, we could still do it, but it was going to be tough. And I was trying to figure out how we were going to tell the world that we got it done, but we needed an extra day or two to do it. And instead, our team responded, our community responded, and the final 2 days were our best sales day in the history of our company, and our team dialed it in. And it was fun because there were some stories to be shared there too.
And this was one thing that I thought was really cool about it. Some of the Green Bay Packers actually tweeted about it, including wide receiver Jordy Nelson.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
So
really cool.
awesome.
They do a lot of great community events up there.
They
And
sure
again,
do.
that's the backbone of retention,
Absolutely.
according to them. So,
Great job.
hey, while you're here at CBT, be sure to check out the latest edition of Car Biz Today magazine. It is the industry's hottest magazine on finding topics and trends for every department of your dealership.
Now, before we go, we want to remind you that if you take part in social media, which we hope you do, we want to connect with you. For more CBT News, highlights of our shows, interviews, and so much more, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
I'm Joe Gum. We appreciate you hanging out with us today.
And I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thanks for making us a part of your day.
Thank you for watching the official news source of the retail automotive industry, CBT News. Today's show is brought to you by DealerTrack.